Okay, this
Is
thing is
there
upside
some
down.
on your lip?
Yeah, it's called a lip ring.
Oh, okay. Listen,
Yeah, this is so.
I'm always looking out for my players. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure ain't no gobbledygook on your lip. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here for you. I'm here for you.
What's going on, world? Your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Levin.
This is the M+M+M show, aka the show, coming to you live and direct with our very first episode of the Quarantine Chronicles. We all look raggedy except for Tank because he looks raggedy and expensive. I wasn't supposed to tell you who was on this thing, but if you're watching it, then you already know. Crystal has pink hair. I got a lip ring, and that man has mad talent. Players, please state your name so people know I'm not lying when I introduce you.
Oh, man, Tank in the building, man. It's official. You know, I'm just, listen, I still like to put on cool clothes, man, even if I ain't got nowhere cool to go.
Well, I had an excuse to get dressed. I put jewelry and stuff on. I mean, like, and this background is horrible. This background is horrible, by the way. I've never done Zoom, and it's like losing parts of my.
That is definitely. Have you ever watched what's it, Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh yes.
Yeah. You look like you're glitching, like the girl you're glitching.
Wow.
I've got a major glitch in the system. Hold on, where am I going to do this? I'm going to switch this because I can't.
She's going to cut it off. Well, anyway,
just be your regular good-looking self. Be your regular good-looking self.
Well, no, it's me. It's just the stupid background because we were trying
There we go. Okay, now there's the truth in the background.
With a wall of masks. Yeah. That's what's crazy about doing FaceTime with people you've never done FaceTime with. Like, we're not FaceTime, we're doing an interview. But think about this. Have you done FaceTime with friends while you've been in quarantine? A lot more?
Yeah, but none with that many masks on the wall. This is new.
I'm saying you find things out about your friends and the world, that you usually see them in person, not there at home.
There's a whole bunch of African business.
There's
a whole bunch of African business in the back. And
we'll talk in private. Let's move on.
Okay, fine. We'll talk about that. No, our mutual friend says hi.
I say what's poppin'?
No. We're gonna stop this right now. This is already going
we do this on the actual show, so we're not.
He said, "Hold on, 1 minute."
No. We're already gonna stop this. I'm not sipping that much tea when it comes to y'all doing this. We
but
with
listen,
the cup.
Besides tea, I have my tropical drink.
Well, wait a minute.
What? You can go get a drink. We can stay with you.
Regular.
Oh, okay.
I'm regular.
You should stay hydrated. You're in LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's still light out. Well, it's still kind of light out here, so it's much earlier in the day.
Yeah, but it's raining. The weather's horrible here.
No,
it's back and forth.
Actually, I've been doing live with a doctor every night, helping us out with this corona thing. When a good doctor friend of mine has been telling us that rain is actually a good look because of how the virus works. The rain captures all those droplets, puts it on the ground. It's actually much better for them. So
they're not floating in the air. Also, it's hard to stay inside when it's really nice weather. It's hard.
True.
It is
when it's
hard.
nice
You're right.
Out,
you are right about that.
Take a walk, barbecue, see your friends. I don't know.
You want to test the market when the weather's right.
I listened to your EP just now. I posted about it because I was like, wait, he has something new. Because I follow you, but I wasn't keeping up with the projects. I guess more of the shit talk, if you will. I've been paying attention to that. But you have a song about my best friend. Like, you are married, and how is it? Relationships can be either awesome or horrible during this time. How has it been being enclosed in the house?
I lucked up, you know what I'm saying, with somebody I've known for 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's almost cheating. That's almost cheating.
Yeah,
that's almost like a cheat code. You're almost cheating.
Like the newlyweds, like that just really, yeah.
It's like even if we fuss, we still cool. You know what I'm saying? Like right after an argument, somebody will say, "Oh, so you're not talking to me now?" Right? It's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now. Are you finished?
I had a moment like that with my roommate. I actually got to hang out and like get to know her a whole lot better than in 11 years of living with her. We actually spend time at the same time together. Usually we work opposite hours. So something happened in the kitchen. We were like bumping, and it was annoying. She was like, "Well, just wait till I'm done, or you can cook first." And we didn't talk for a second. 10 minutes later, I was like, "Are you avoiding me, or are you going to watch this show?" She was like, "We were good." Yeah, we were over it just like that.
It's like you have to make that decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you're going through, it's like, all right, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to let that moment be that moment. Yeah.
Right. We could both decide to keep going.
Let it live there and then move on.
But then I've always been under the understanding, and as someone who sings a bunch of love songs to a ton of women all over the world, I've always been under the understanding that love has always been a choice. It's a feeling at first, but then after that, it's deciding to put this person first, deciding to hold an umbrella over their head while it's raining, even if you pissed off at them. Like, it's the decisions that come after that. Like, when you don't see, me and my lady have been, together rocking out. Things are great. I'm not married. I'm working on it. But she, this quarantine thing, we're still rocking and rolling. Like, what I've learned is the value of comfortable silence. We don't have to fill up all the space with music or conversation. And when we're quiet, it doesn't mean anything's wrong. It means she's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing, and nobody's pissed off. Like, I'm kind of okay with this. I can quarantine with this.
Yeah, no, you're clear. It's clear because, like, the action of love is completely different from the feeling. You know what I mean? Because you have to, in a sense, what's the word? You got to kind of back up what you feel. You know what I mean? And so therein comes our human imperfections that can sometimes either lend towards the idea of really loving a person or not. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that you don't, but you put yourself in positions sometimes where you don't show the love you feel. You know what I'm saying? And so
also, the instinct of, like, the knee-jerk reaction is what a lot of people operate on in life in general, in meetings, business, their art, and that's supposed to be like your natural self. But what is it? EQ, emotional quotient, your ability to, like, step back, take a second.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say, if you love me, great. But if you like me, treat me like you like me. How would you treat your friend?
Some like has to be involved here. I gotta like you to spend this kind of quarantine time with you. I gotta like you.
Yeah, you can be homie best friends. Yeah,
we can crack jokes all day about that. Your wife must love you. I've been to your shows, bro. The shirts come off, the jeans are low. I don't know if he's wearing any drawers. Like, the women are screaming. Your wife to rock with you through that level of entertainment, where we know it's for show and we know you're entertaining and all that is all well and good. But there's literally, I was at the Barclays Center, there's literally like an arena full of women all screaming for this man to take off something else. Your wife has to, like, really like you in order for that to
trust. You like love.
No, trust is something else. She can stick with him and violate his trust. She can go through his phone. Screw trust. She has to, like, you still gotta like the hell out
to
of
be
it.
comfortable with it. To be comfortable with that type of stuff. Well, it's like, I know this is for show. I know what it really is. So.
Well, here's the intricate conversation, right? Is that although she allows it, you know what I mean, and although, she accepts it on a certain level, it's still not completely ideal.
It's not her favorite thing about you.
It's not her favorite thing about me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and she expresses it like, are we gonna go 4 more years with this shirt off thing and grabbing your crotch and making songs like When We Fuck? Is that what we're gonna keep doing? Like,
right.
And it's like, and it comes a time, even for me, I was already kind of moving in a space where, I had kind of exhausted that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my last single was I Don't Think You're Ready, and the single before that was Dirty, and the single before that was When We. And I looked at it, and I was like, I think I'm done. Like, I don't. There's no more I can't get any nastier without completely violating. You know what I'm saying? My foundation and construct.
Okay. I was gonna say you can get nastier. I can help if you need. Like, no. I can write some stuff down if you need.
I've been on the Plies record. I know how nasty it can get, but
say no more.
but I just, for me, it's always been about, natural growth, and I lived in that moment. I did well in it, and now I'm just moving on to other things, and it's just natural.
Another version of growth, hair growth in this quarantine period. How is it going without a barber? Do you do your own clippers? There's some guys.
I get to my face. You know what I'm saying? I get to my face. I mean, this up here it's heavy. You know what I'm saying? But
there's some guys that are having to show their grays. You notice, like Kevin Hart. going like a little showing the grade.
Kevin will go from a 40-year-old man to like an 82-year-old, you know what I'm saying, senior citizen in like a week and a half. So he's really got to be careful.
I'm not gonna hold you. I was not ready to see Diddy with a head full of salt and pepper. I wasn't ready for it. That caught me so off guard. I was not.
Diddy's an older gentleman without the dye. Yeah.
No, but he's grown. I'm not mad at the grown. I've had my grades since I was 13. I'm not mad at grown. I just wasn't ready. In my head, Diddy is still this kid dancing in all the videos and all on the records. And now all of a sudden he's Martin Scorsese. It was just different.
Right. Well, if you never knew it was happening, that's like women that, not that work or whatever. Yes, good, no, bad, whatever. Women that keep it done along the way versus get a whole face done or a whole body done, right? There's some girls that get injections or Botox along the way. You never even realize that they were aging at all.
Right.
And then if they run out of either money or, decide not to.
Quarantine with somebody. And,
they got
who are you? Who is? No, it's exactly that, because we've never seen Diddy like really, or Kevin Hart for that matter. We've never seen them rock the gray. You know what I'm saying? Outright. We've never seen them shape the gray up. You know what I'm saying? And put it in a commercial or have it in a special. It's always been, so now when we see it, it's like it doesn't speak to aging as you've had yours since 13, but it does. The general idea of it is that
it's a thing we all associate with age.
Yeah.
I think
I can't wait.
I think it speaks a lot to what you were saying. Like, let's keep it 1,000. These are very wealthy men. If they wanted to, they could 100% keep that going from now until the end of time. Yeah. They've made conscious decisions, much like you have, to no longer go that route and to do something different. My
to
thing
portray
is,
that image or that.
Well, just to do something different. My thing is, since we already know what they're doing different, we know that they've decided to let the gray out. I'm super curious to know what your next move is. Like, going from the muscle-bound, stripping sex symbol dude, what's the evolution look like? Have you given that any thoughts to what the new music is going to sound like if you're not singing? And you haven't always sung these kind of songs. It's not like this has been your trademark. But if you're making a conscious decision to exclude this, what comes after?
Well, once you've because I deal a ton of in extremes, right? And so once you kind of explore the extremes, then it becomes about, what do you want your balance to be, right?
Well, and nuance, right?
Yeah, and so now I'm moving into a space where I am trying to cater to my 44-year-old self. You know what I mean? I am trying to say, okay, I've done those things. I've grown past those things, and here I'm starting to pay more attention to the legacy aspect of it. And it gets kind of tough when you put out albums and you can't play them for your kids. You know what I'm saying? And, your 18-year-old kid knows all the songs, and she looking at the 15-year-old like, yeah, you ain't supposed to be listening to this. And then the 12-year-olds are like, listening to what? And then the 5-year-old is like, fuck. You're like, hey.
Well, you heard that. Right.
Who you heard that? So, it just comes a time where, I'm gonna always work out. Fitness is always just a part of my game. That's just kind of what I do. But how I present it, I just want it to be. I just want
being
it to be
fit versus stripping is.
Different. Yeah. I just want to be. I want to keep it sexy. I want to get rid of the raunch, and you know what I'm saying. And I want it to be tasteful. I want it to be flavorful. As I move into more acting, as I move into more of an executive position, I just feel like those things are necessary.
Do you have artists signed to you?
Yes, we have one artist. Her name is Feather. She's signed. We have a partnership with Motown that she's signed to. We're working, getting all that together. We have another artist. His name is Ye Ali. We just started rocking with him. He's super dope. He just put out a new mixtape called Trap Jodeci. Super crazy.
Okay. Is he singing?
Huh?
Where is he from?
Is he singing?
Yeah, he's singing. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. You probably heard him before. Yeah, Ali. He's been doing stuff for me. He's been writing for Chris Brown, a bunch of people. Like, he's a guy. So we're in the market. We're just snatching up R&B pieces, man, and trying to start this R&B revolution, man.
Do you record at a studio or your house? I know there's been a large movement towards private studios.
Well, I do both. I have a studio. I have a bigger studio that I have, you know, out in North Hollywood, and then I have my setup here. My whole guest house is like a speakeasy / lounge / studio kind of thing where it's just a vibe. You know what I'm saying? We just recording the vibe.
He's super happy about that. His whole face just lit up. For the audience that can't see what's happening, if you're just listening to this on the podcast, his face just got super happy.
Bro, because shout out to Nikki Chu, who came in and blessed this place for free. If I showed you this place like from ceiling to floor, blessed it. Everything in here.
Y'all rich people kill me. Like when you can afford stuff, everybody gives it to you for free. When you can't afford it, they want to charge you out for those.
That's not true, and it's not fair, okay? I was on a TV show. She has a TV show, and she's a friend of my wife's, and that's how it got hooked up. You know what I mean? It wasn't because I had money. You know what I'm saying? It was because, well, maybe a little bit. It was because
See how fast that happened? I'm just waiting for that lie to fall apart. I'm not even entertaining it. I'm just looking at it.
They give you free. They give it for free because they were going to have to pay for advertising somewhere else.
They were going to have to pay me to be on the television show. So it was an amazing trade-off.
Okay.
Like if I'm starting a brand, it's good look to give somebody famous my shit so that they wear it, and then I don't have to pay for advertising. It's the best. I mean, it's
and fame doesn't necessarily mean money.
True. But you have both, and none of this negates my point. So I don't know why we're even discussing this. Like, you can keep going around in this circle if you want to. I'll be right here when you get back.
I have a question. Well, I don't know if I should bring it up right now. I will. We talked about your speakeasy studio space for hanging out, for vibing, for whatever.
It's a man cave, yeah. Yes,
there's another person that I follow that you have something to do with that is very proud of his, and he posts about it a lot, and that's Tyrese. So what is going on with that online? None of us can really tell half the time whether it's real beef or pretend beef or jokes. It's really, I swear to God, it's confusing. I'm like, wow, they said, oh, he's kidding. Oh, wait, no, that sounds really, really hardcore.
Yeah, no, there's no beef. We're just both Capricorns. And so, like, you know, if it's for the love, we're all in. And if it's for the kill, we're all in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Because there's been some really deep cuts. Like,
and nobody's exempt. Like, if you saw our last feud, it was really just about music. And then it's just started taking a turn into so many other things, and I stepped back and I looked at myself and I was like, I'm really getting ready to say some wild shit, and
publicly,
and we are completely away from what we started the conversation about. This is about music and celebrating R&B, and now I'm about to talk about his mama. You know what? I'm out. And I really went and just deleted everything, and I didn't say anything. I said, you know what? If he has something more to say, he can say it. I'm out. Like, I don't even know why I'm doing this at this point in time. I got a nice EP out. I'm expressing positivity and love and quarantine ship and I'm
quarantine ship.
I'm on IG arguing with this is not cool. It's not becoming, and I just deleted it.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I was gonna say
it's no beef though.
Okay. Good. Vegetarian. All good.
How could it be that? I would assume you two know where each other live. You were in a band for all this time. You got albums together. I would assume.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I've asked him a few times. Listen, I mean, I can come over. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We can kill the online. You know what I'm saying? Badger.
No. Social distancing. 6 feet.
You can't even punch 6 feet.
I'm talking about pre-quarantine. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've really,
this beef has been going.
When I say we've been either all love or all kill, we've been there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, we've had moments where I say, well, listen, man, I mean, I'll be over in 5 minutes if you want to, you want to touch and agree for a second.
Is this why? Is this an underlying cause of why the group went left? Is this a symptom of that, or?
Well, here's what I'll say is that anytime you have three successful solo artists who've been doing it their way for 20 plus years, and then you have to create a group and find one way to do it, one person to represent it, one talent agency, one one everything, one band,
road manager, one music director, one publicist.
Like those conversations.
Well, you're not children.
I'm sorry about that. Those conversations are so long and so drawn out. And just like how we started talking about music the other day and then it ended up on some other stuff, like that's how those conversations go. And it just drains the energy out of everybody. You know what I mean?
From the original purpose to make beautiful music.
Like we just came to make music. And so, trying to figure that out is tough, man. It's really tough. And it's we can blame people. We can say, oh, he did this and he did that and all these things. He wants the most money. All in all, it's a failure to communicate on all three of us. You know what I'm saying? And a failure to really just.
I was thinking of other groups that have worked. It's generally because they started so young together, and either there was an obvious shining star within it. I mean, we talked about Destiny's Child or something like that. But for like younger men, like when there's an adult figure in there that's already putting their ideas and their knowledge on all of you at the same time. So all of you being wise old men, not old, but you know what I mean. Like what you're doing. So I can't imagine being able to really take it back and like give up the reins like that.
Yeah, it's like Tyrese believes in a writer's camp, a producer's camp, where he just gets like 20 producers and 30 writers and they all start creating. I'm like, but I believe in magic. I believe you find your Quincy Jones and your Teddy Riley and you
stick
find
with them.
a couple great people and you build. And that's how and so his process isn't wrong. It has yielded him great results. And my process isn't wrong. It has yielded me great results. Where's the middle ground?
Right.
Like,
and which one is right for the group?
Which one is right for the group?
Yeah.
And then you got Genuine's like, I don't care, dog. Like, I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to write my verse, dog. Whatever's going on, I'm writing out on my own.
I'm over here riding my pony. Anyway. I have a question too.
That was definitely that I knew that pony thing was coming.
You knew the pony was coming?
Before we even got started, somebody's gonna pony something. Like any minute now.
Pony up. If somebody owes me a bet, pony up. Okay, no, there's another one. I was gonna ask you. I had a conversation earlier about, it was about domestic violence, which obviously you're not dealing with, but anything
I was about to say, where the hell did that come from?
No. When we're stuck in anything that people have a problem with, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, everything that you could deal with is exacerbated. So we were talking about couples being stuck at home. That's where that came up, because I was like, that's why I asked the first question. But are you a drinker in general, and have you increased or decreased?
Is your wife driving you to drink? She wants to know.
Not even your wife, just in general. Because when people are bored, they're like, you don't have to wait till 5 o'clock.
Oh, so is life driving you to drink? Is life driving?
Or is boredom, or is availability? Like people go to the kitchen 100 times for a snack. I go and look in it, and I'm like, I'm not even hungry. I just looked in the fridge. It's like, if you have these issues.
Valid question. And my answer is, normally, like, I don't drink a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always staying ready. You know what I'm saying? When I got something to do, I gotta look shredded. I can't put this alcohol in my body. I gotta sing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes certain alcohols affect me or whatever, but I haven't really had nothing to do except
nothing to get ready for. Stay ready.
IG, you know what I'm saying? IG calls or Zoom calls. And I'm like, man, pass me some of that tequila, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling a little extra saucy right now. So, yeah, I have been consuming a little bit more tequila than I normally do. Dos Artes Extra Añejo. I got 6 bottles of that sitting in the pantry there in the bar area. And like, I'll get a glass a night. You know what I'm saying? Just to, take the edge off.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm not. I'm not even crossed over into an alcoholic space, but I am consuming more than my normal amount.
More often than,
Yeah, than for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I've got nothing.
Have
you eaten more Oreos or like ordered more?
Are you kidding me? No. I got five family-sized packs of Oreos.
Yo, because my roommate wanted. Okay, listen, this is actually really funny. My roommate went to the grocery store. She made a trek. She got bundled up. And she was looking for certain things. And she was like, I didn't think, like, when's the last time we bought Oreos? There's certain things that people in quarantine or panic or whatever buy that they don't normally buy. They say carbs are having a comeback. Who buys pasta most of the time? Everybody bought pasta, bread, and Oreos of all things.
Easy, because it's easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
I have the
Tasty.
vanilla Oreos. I have the mint Oreos. I have the regular Oreos, all in family size.
Oh, stop.
Double stuff. Double stuff.
Hold on. Stop. Did you say mint Oreos? Is that a thing?
Oh,
That's
yes.
Oh,
this color in the middle. This color in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So,
mint
color
Oreos.
In the
They
middle.
got the red velvet Oreos. Red velvet Oreos, birthday Oreos.
I'm just waiting for the chicken and waffle Oreos to drop. Everybody, I think they're just targeting black
No, that's
people.
Pringles and Lay's. They made the weirdo. Have you had the Pringles and the Lay's that made the strange flavor combinations? They were like on dares. I think people were like, there was some strange. I had ketchup flavored Pringles.
Ramen noodles is right around the corner. I'm just backing away before this real tragedy hits. Bro, how have you been?
A bodybuilding company I know made. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, how have you been dealing with, as a boss, as a guy who's in charge? This slowdown has affected a ton of small businesses. Artists I know can't get out on the road and perform anymore, which is like a good chunk of the bread and butter. How are you holding up? Are you able to hold down some of your employees and keep the party going, or have you had to make tough decisions?
I mean, for me, like me personally, I'm doing cool because you know, I'm not just an artist, you know what I mean? And so, like, you take something as simple as this EP. I didn't put it out to make a whole lot of money off of it. But the little money that it may generate, you know what I'm saying? It could hold me over, what have you. The money that I had saved is definitely going to hold me over. I was also able to even do a couple of deals with, you know, some companies who do something different. Like right now, what's still happening, even though artists aren't able to move around, their music is still moving around, right? So since I own my music,
you could license, etc.
And I was I'm still able to do, you know, licensing deals and stuff like that with my music. You know what I'm saying? Because I have so much of it that I've written and produced, and I have the capacity to keep putting out more. So if I ever get in a jam, you know, if I need to, I can borrow against my catalog. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm in a different position, and with, you know, and with my guys that work for me, like my band guys and road manager, all my other guys, like if any of my guys ever call me and say, hey man, it's tough for me doing this quarantine, thinking, and then it's not even a question. If I got it, they got it. You know, that's how I run.
That's good. I heard a couple people was her, for example, paid all her you know, performers, bandmates, etc. like for shows that were canceled.
Yeah,
I mean, it's beautiful because when you're the head of the, well, not head of the snake, but you know, the head of the family, if you will.
Yeah.
Like you're making a large chunk of it, and other people are they're giggers, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, they probably had a tour canceled. I mean, she was heating up. You know what I'm saying? So imagine going into this quarantine and they cancel a 40-city tour. They cancel it. It's on the books, venues booked, promo up, like the weekend. His tickets were up, selling, whole nine. Like,
well, and major events too. Like a lot of people, I think, like Coachella or South by
festivals.
They kept the money, but I believe a lot of them kept the money, and they said it would be valid for whenever we do, because I can't imagine refunds. Because once you have tickets sold, and when you already have like deposits made, you've used that money elsewhere. Like giving back entire
the refund game is not a game you want to be in.
You just want to postpone, and we'll be there.
Postpone.
Hold up. Let me keep that 80 from each of you, or let me keep that whatever it is.
You better believe
it. Speaking of giving back, who are you planning on with all these IG battles coming on? Who are you planning on going at next? I saw the Dream and what's that dude's name? Oh,
yeah, I forgot the other guy.
The Dream and Sean Garrett.
It's Sean Garrett, right? I saw.
Sean Garrett.
I had the Dream in that one. Who are you planning on going against? That's what I want to know.
Have they done R&B ones?
Yes,
the Dream. They did Jonte and Neo.
Yeah, that one happened right after.
Sean Garrett. Okay, I think of him more of as writer than yeah.
Dream, both of those R&B guys. I don't think that I fit. I don't think I fit the mold of anybody that's currently working, you know, in that space. Like, because I'm kind of more of a Neo, like, I mean, but I produce too. So Neo's a writer and a singer, right? So he gets that.
You versus Neo, boom.
Neo already did it.
Cheap.
Yeah,
he gets that cheap, right? Where he writes, but also I'm part of records that I don't sing on, where I just make the beat. You know what I'm saying? Or I was just a musician here. Or so I have so many moments that I'm a part of in terms of records. Like I'm like upwards of 60, 80 million records that I'm a part of. You know what I mean? So, and you think of it like this. I don't have all of the super runaway Hot 100 hits either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have
like the club bangers or whatever. Like
I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? From an urban AC side, I got a bunch of number ones earlier in my career that maybe I deserved. Please Don't Go. Those were chart toppers on urban, but my records aren't necessarily the Hot 100 records that a lot of these guys have had. You know what I'm saying? But I have had my hand in a gang of freaking records. So I don't know if there's anybody that really is in my space.
Right. Well, I was thinking it'd be hard to battle. Battle, because in my mind, battle is like about hype. Like you think about like rap battles or hip b-boy battles and stuff. It's like very hype. So it's the energy, idea, it's so the idea of battling an R&B, like an R&B battle, I think of like interpretive dance. Like,
oh, that's just disgusting.
Not in a bad way, but it's so peaceful and beautiful.
That's totally a bad way. No, that's awful.
I think it's, but you can't. Terrible. But battling is physical and hype.
That's
to
not
me.
true.
Like,
see, that just tells me that you didn't see the Neo versus.
I didn't. I didn't know he had done one. I missed them. I did miss them.
No, they were singing back and forth. They were playing their records, and it was a matter of who had the better record.
Those guys have tempo. Those guys have way more tempo than me. Like my battle would definitely be a battle sponsored by Pinot Grigio. You know what I'm saying? It would definitely be.
I can pull that off. Listen, go listen.
It'd definitely be a wine battle.
Go call Ryan Leslie and let's get this started.
You can lay around in your satin sheets. You can lay around in your satin sheets.
No. This is already taking a see, wrong turn. Wrong turn.
Ryan Leslie's a guy.
Right? Writer, producer.
And you can pull out.
He's been away from the game a lot, but if they could pull it off, maybe. But
if he wants to smoke, are you down? Because that's what it comes down to. If he wants to smoke, are you down?
Listen, man. I woke up smoking. You know what I'm saying? I wake up smoking every day. As soon as I pull the covers off of my body, smoking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God!
Evaporates up into the air. Like that's the kind of smoke I am.
Oh, the imagery.
Oh yeah. That wasn't.
It really wasn't. I wish you remember that I'm here. Like, I don't know how these screens are set up on yours, but I need you to remember that I'm here, bro. Like,
I'm here.
I see you. Oh, Becca.
As soon as the covers come off my body, no. Put the covers back on.
Listen, Tag, you are just so used to doing that type of shit because of your stage shows. I swear it wasn't the last post. You said, I swear I'll go on tour. You shirtless. Like, as soon as I get out of here, I'll go on tour. You're so used to that type. That way.
Yeah, it's kind of in my system. I apologize.
I don't know how he's going to switch this up. It was one thing when we were at the Barclays and I was with my lady and we, watching all this sexiness and she's getting in the mood. That's fantastic. It's just me and you and Crystal here, bro. I don't want to be a part of the covers on your body.
I went to
here's what's crazy. I just did a show in Toronto. That was like one of my last shows I did when January 15th shut down. And I kept my shirt on. Like my shirt was on. You know what I'm saying? During all of the when we and all of that, my shirt was on.
Hell you say.
I was like, how low was it unbuttoned?
And listen, well, there were 3 to 4 buttons unbuttoned. Yeah,
taco meat, all the fresh taco meat. The taco meat is out.
Yeah. No, mine is more of like a fajita kind of thing, but you know what I'm saying? But what I saw was that people still really enjoyed it. They still really enjoyed the moment, the music, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I can keep my shirt on for some shows.
I've heard certain people discuss that once they have a daughter. I'm switching subjects, but once they have a daughter, the idea of you want to keep her off the pole. That's your goal as a dad, right? So they say, I want you to respect yourself. You don't have to take your clothes off. You don't have to show skin to be respectable. So like at 40, how old are you now?
44.
He goes, I don't have to take my clothes off. I'm happy for you.
And it's still something I'm pondering. You know what I mean?
See,
I'm still thinking about it.
I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I'm not swole up or nothing. I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I was built like some of these dudes out here, if I worked out to that point, I'm not sure I'd own any shirts at any age. Like I think you should keep it popping.
Cut the sleeves.
Dude, I think you should keep it popping till you can keep it popping. I think with men, women, anything you do, as long as you're able to do it well, I don't believe in ageism. I think everybody should be able to do everything that they can still do, like whatever it is, whatever it looks like.
And I agree with you, and therein lies my advantage, and so I don't want to take advantage of my advantage. I'll use it when I need it.
Well, also you can have your shirt unbuttoned or show skin. Like there's some Lenny Kravitz types or whatever that aren't necessarily bumping and grinding. It's more of a rock style move.
I gotta control my pelvis. You know what I'm saying? I gotta control my pelvis. That needs to be under control. I'm sure your wife would appreciate it. I gotta control my tongue. That has to be under control. You know what I'm saying? The things I'm grabbing on stage like this, it's gotta be just slight alterations. So that when these corporate companies are looking for people to perform, they can also call me. You know
they're like, we what's it called? Market to the 15 to 18.
They're like,
now, see,
what about Tank?
Hold on a second. See, that's a very brand conscious decision, which I completely respect and totally understand. That's why I think it struck so many people as odd when you made the comment about like what makes you gay and what doesn't make you gay, and you can do this and it doesn't make you gay. Like my whole thought was, even if he thinks that, why would he say it knowing what his brand has been and continues to be?
Well, I don't move by how people judge me, right? Or how I feel they may judge me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm completely secure in, my manhood, number one. And number two, I'm very much secure in the things that I believe. You know what I mean? And what happens is that when people don't understand or see it the way you see it, and it rubs them the wrong way, in order to fight that, they have to make you something negative. They have to turn you into something. So, in speaking directly to that statement, I didn't say anything that I had ever done. I didn't put myself in a position to where you could see me doing some things that were questionable. I merely spoke and gave an opinion on what people felt like was a questionable subject. And it was my opinion then, and it's my opinion now. What people go through to get to where they are or who they become, that go through stage or that exploration stage, there are things within that process that you never become, but they were instrumental to getting you to the place that you needed to be.
Right. Like if anybody has ever made some drunk mistakes, some college mistakes, girls are allowed to experiment as much as they want.
All the time, as much as they want to.
And it doesn't mean that you've done it, therefore you are. I mean, that's what I took from it. That's what I took
That's
from
what
it.
I was saying. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And they
people can accept a lot of things.
And how did I become gay for thinking that they're not gay?
I think I think a lot of where that came from was, number one, it's probably not something that a lot of heterosexual men think about in general. Number two, it's probably not something that women assume heterosexual men would even lend any thought to. Now, that's not to say that somebody isn't allowed to have a thought or even an epiphany. We talk, me and my co-host here, we talk the wide range of sports when it comes to sex on our show. If you've ever listened in, you really should. The conversations go all over the place. We talk all kinds of stuff.
And we've had gay, straight, bi, every version of things. Having conversations
whatever
that aren't necessarily our preference, but it's interesting. So freaking interesting to lend your imagination or like understanding. Not imagine. I'm not saying I'm emphasizing,
but
understanding. Imagine another person's perspective or experience.
I think that's a good chunk of why we're able to talk the way we do, because Crystal and I will approach any and all subjects with two things. One, no judgment. We don't judge anybody for liking whatever it is they like, whatever that's number one. And number two, with the understanding that just because it's for them and it's not for us doesn't make it a bad thing.
We had this one conversation. Okay. I'll bring up one was with Be More Snoop. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about.
A good one.
Well, she was talking about how she has like 2 girlfriends, but they're like not serious, but it's whatever. And then she goes, sometimes, I'd be missing them. And I go, but she said it's not emotional. Like, do you miss them? She was like, have you ever been with a woman? I was like, I've tried it. I was like, she goes, don't you miss it? I go, no. And I made a face. I was like, no. She goes, why you made that face? And I go, because it's not for me. And she was like, yeah, but you're judging me. I go, let's talk about sucking dick. And she goes, I go, you just made a face. What if that's my favorite thing to do? And you just judged me.
Right,
I said, it's just not my bag, baby.
Exactly. And so
it was a perfect example. I was like, I don't care what you do.
And so imagine trying to speak logically in a space like where it hits Instagram or it hits all of these social media platforms where people are not designed for these conversations. Like we are really talking from the future. You know what I mean? And trying to get people to access this sort of understanding. First, not to judge. And then 2, to accept that whatever that person desires to do, whatever makes them happy, is okay for them. And you don't have to be part of it.
Right. I just feel like I want to use the what's the doctor oath, like do no harm. Like do whatever the fuck you want. Just do no harm.
No. You're 100% preaching to the choir. After you hang up with us, I need you to go onto our page, check out the show we did with who was that? Arsonist and Fred the Godson. By the way, Fred the Godson, get well soon. He came down with COVID-19. Get well soon, Fred the Godson. But go check the conversation we had with them. We spent a full hour trying to explain to him how some men are cool with their women sleeping with other men and actually watching and enjoying it. And it just blew
or any
his
type
mind.
of threesome. He just
couldn't. It fucked him up completely.
So stubborn.
And they
judgy like.
Oh yeah, listen. When they can't listen, when Black people can't understand something, or you know what I'm saying, or it is outside of the traditional realm. Like, come on, man.
Right.
And when
the
white people
perspective that you would share with your grandmother or something, like the perspective that you believe your grandfather would agree with or something like that. Yeah.
When white people run into things that they can't understand and they refuse to accept, we call them Trump supporters. Tank, please tell everybody where we can find you next, because we got to wrap this show up before we get cut off. I would hate for that to happen. Please let everybody know where they can find you. I mean, besides the house, everybody knows you're in the house.
Listen, man,
like, just all the
you better get used to this Trump thing, because he's gonna be around for a while. He's gonna be around for a while. He's gonna be around.
You know what?
I don't wish ill will on people, but I really do like when karma strikes on its own. I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You know what? Okay, so yeah, there'll be a whole lot more of Trump, and but you can find
Tank?
me.
Yes, where's Tank
at The Real Tank? You can find me at The Real Tank on everything. At The Real Tank on IG. At The Real Tank on Twitter. At The Real Tank Facebook. I'm just at The Real Tank. R&B Money Podcast. Make sure y'all check us out too. We'll be talking all R&B from every level, from Pink Sweats to Keith Sweat. Okay, we're gonna be doing all of it.
We need to be a guest on that one. You need to have us on that one.
Bring us through.
I can definitely talk music. Tank, thank you so much for coming through. We enjoyed this. This is our very first quarantine episode, and we had none other than Tank. I think
quarantine.
In the meantime, in between time, I'm your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Evans.
This has been the M+M+M show, a.k.a. the
show.
May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Do us a favor. Go get laid. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Go get laid. It was about finding a girl, man. It was about, I don't care about what no dude got on or how many bottles he popping. I could care less.
The sparklers.
Where are the women? Where are
when you see entire tables of dudes and they're like almost excluding women because it's gonna be gold digger or attention whore or whatever they think the women are. It just becomes like me and my boys and then me and my girl. Like
no, we don't do the homie. We don't do the.
I purposely go to a club. Me and like maybe 2 or 3 of my guys. You know, I don't ever roll deep like that. me and 2 or 3 of my guys, we'll buy a whole section just so that, hey,
to fill it with ladies.
You guys need somewhere to be comfortable. Come on, that's what it's supposed to be about. It's just
so magnanimous, but should
focus on. You gotta refocus, man. And not enough sex being had.
And all the dances, all the current dances are not meant for a man and a woman to do together.
No, not at all.
Like, there's not one current dance that you can do with a woman or with a man.
Not
we're flossing. We're all this in front. Like, there's
unless you're in the islands. Unless you're in the islands, that's not happening anymore. They never
Afrobeat and Caribbean. They still have some of that. Yeah,
they never.
A lot of that.
I need to make up the dance to get people closer. You just gave me some homework.
Do it.
You just gave me some homework. I need the song and dance to get people closer.
You gotta name it. You gotta name it the M+M+M dance, though. It has to be named after us. Yeah, you gotta name it. You gotta name it after us.
I want you to keep the camera up. Okay. All right.
We all do.
I actually had this. Sorry, Mecca is like my brother, so he's just like, ew. I was actually gonna ask that.
That's hold on. That's actually only one. Not only are we that cool, but I also know her man, like super tight with her man, and the nigga is like a Volkswagen with a fucking fitted on. I don't need to be involved in none of that
Volkswagen.
Shit. Like
you do know who it is, right, Tank?
Who?
Easy.
Right?
No. I'm still recording. No. I'm still recording. Shut the
up.
I'm still recording. Like, what are you doing?
I didn't know you were recording. Oh my God, you recorded me. I thought we were off that thing. I thought we were done recording. That's why I wouldn't even do anything like that. But my point is this. Okay. But my point is this: we've actually loved having people on with their significant other, wife, girlfriend, whatever. I was like, I was actually wondering like if she was gonna be like listening in, because I was like, we talked some nasty shit. Like, what if she like accused me of flirting just because that conversation goes that way?
Oh,
that's but that was on my mind like before the interview, just in theory, because we're at home. So like, if we interview any dude or any woman, their person could be like just off camera being like, dear, say this shit.
There's another guy here, so I'm assuming that would throw it off. You can't exactly shoot your shot with me like just sitting here. That's a
Listen, let me tell you something.
They haven't tried, Mecca.
Here's the thing though. Women can smell anything. You know what I'm saying? Or they can turn anything into a smell. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
That felt like.
But you need a secure woman to handle stuff like that. I tell everybody, every woman I've ever dealt with, I let them know from the door, your feelings don't justify your actions. You feeling a certain way doesn't mean that that's what it is. You just feel that way, which I completely get.
It doesn't, right? But you also have to consider this, right? Security is a two-way street, not a one-way street. You know what I'm saying? So as in a woman has to walk in with security, we also have to secure that security.
Now,
you know what I mean?
I 100% hear
That's a gem.
No.
That is a gem.
100% hear you on that.
You have to protect their confidence.
Wait a minute. I'm going to start from the beginning of his sentence. She has to walk in with security.
Right. Has to walk in with security.
If she's not walking,
you can't infuse her with something she didn't have.
Exactly. The problem is, most of these people in these relationships are not walking in with said security. They're walking in.
Right. A lot of people are looking to be whole.
Mindsets.
They're looking to be made whole.
They have fractured mindsets.
People are like, I'm broken. I need somebody to fix me.
They have fractured respect levels. Like, everything about them is fractured. And then they come to you to piece it together, where they're so fragile, they can invent, like you said, anything can turn into anything else. And it just becomes an issue.
Yeah. Also, but can I say this? There are women that invent and have so many like fractured pieces, like you said, like broken glass. But when you say make something into a smell, we know what we're doing. I'm a flirt. I am a flirt. I know this about myself, right? Like, I'm confident, I'm loyal, I'm all these things, confident in my man, confident in our relationship, etc. But I know I'm a flirt. So if he accuses me of doing some sideways shit, like immediately I'm gonna be like, I would never. And then I'm like, I might have.
Let me think about it.
But like I talked to this person a little extra long because I liked the energy they were giving me. That's flirting. Like, in a way, I didn't want to fuck that person,
Right.
But to an extent, what was I really doing? That you would feel that way. Because most people, if you're really honest, there's a little truth to every
Period.
Yeah,
I agree. I do agree. I agree.
Yeah, you just have to be sure that that person's perception. Well, that person has to be sure that what they're perceiving is reality. I've been told I was flirting.
Well, and that's not a fight worthy. It's just like, you was flirting, girl.
That depends.
Was you flirting, whore?
Right. That depends on who you're talking to. That depends on who you're talking to.
It's the way it is the way it's presented. The way it's presented. If it's presented like, I saw you over there flirting. Like, if it's that type of thing, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to not back into defense mode. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can look at it like, what are you talking about? And then you can actually have a cool conversation about like when
I was single, I might have talked to him or something.
Right.
How about
it's all in that? Yeah.
How about we judge it by intent?
You guys are dope.
I think if you take it from intentions first, all these other things are smoothed out.
Yeah.
If you saw me over in the corner,
right? Yeah, I did that, but I didn't want to fuck him. I didn't want to give him an impression.
That's my point. What do you think my intention was when I was talking to this woman? Do you think I was trying to holler? Do you think I was being nice? Do you think I was trying to get a number for some contacts? Do you think I was trying to get in her pants? What was my intention? Do you think my intention was to do you dirty and disrespect you? Now, if you believe some of these things,
well,
we're probably in trouble. Yeah, we're probably in trouble before.
You're already cut off at the knees if you already thought that person is trying to fuck you over, like cheat you.
Well, yeah, because there has to be in a relationship, there has to be the benefit of the doubt. It has to be on my side.
Innocent until proven guilty, like your shirt.
Please.
Get on until proven vegetable.
Please.
Yeah.
Please let me be innocent. You know what I'm saying? First. And approach me as if I'm innocent.
And treat me like me, not like we're enemies.
Right.
For that, she needs to walk in the door with security.
With security.
And we're back. See how fast that happened? Boom. Boom. Boom, ladies and gentlemen. Boom.
I feel like this is the end of the podcast. If it didn't kick us off by now, we could just end it here.
It actually kicked us off like 10 minutes ago, which is why I had to stop it and restart it. But it's all good. We can only go for 40 minutes on these things. But we'll just edit it up and throw it in. It's all good. We got it.
Yeah, no, this is good. You can edit out my little hip dance. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'll think about it. That was your idea.
I was, because I'm a fucking flirt. I'm horrible. Cut me off.
Okay, well, now you got to pay for it. No, I'm not.
And this was alcohol.
I'm not protecting you from you. How you sound? Get out of here. No.
You afraid, my bro? Help me out here, bro.
100%.
I'm on vacation mode.
In the words of James Evans, bet you won't do that shit no more. Bet you won't do that shit no more.
It was our first episode. I didn't know.
I love it.
Oh, I wanted to show you guys this because while we're on here, my roommate and I got real creative because we have nothing to do. I'm a model and an actress. Like, all I have better to do is model and act for myself, right? Or the gram. But we made like fly ass.
For the love of God.
But we made like cool ones.
What is wrong with you, man?
But listen,
those are nice.
But initially we made them for hospitals because they asked for extra ones to go over their N95s because they're only getting like one a week. So if they can get these to throw away every day, this is like no material. So they layer them. So we made a couple hundred already. And then we decided to make funky ones for ourselves. Like, this is my favorite.
Do those work though?
That's the question.
What they do is they don't necessarily stop the virus itself if it's airborne, but it stops you from spreading snot and whatever, and stops you from touching your face while you're out. That's my biggest thing. If you feel like an itch and you go like this, already if you touched a rail or a handle that was infected and all that type of stuff, it's just it's that type of thing. Like, I've noticed, like, if my nose is running, like, and you have the mask on, you just let it run. Because nobody can see, and you're aware of the dangers right now. Right. And New York is like, I don't know how LA is, but like New York is.
I love it.
Pretty fucking crazy. So anyway, we made a bunch of, and he's got the pheromone.
Yeah, he's got the. Anyway,
but I made this the
warfare.
No one can tell if you're smiling, and I like smiling at people.
All right. We've officially gone too far. This is officially you smiling during the pandemic. You want to be nice at people while the god awful is spreading around the air.
I love it.
We're out of here. Everybody be safe. Tank, again, thank you so much.
Man, much love to you guys, man. Much love.
That was awesome.
Please come back through. And once this thing is over, come up to the studio. Let's do it the right way.
Yeah, we're doing it in person. Yeah, we got to do that.
Salute.
It's good to see you.
Everybody be safe.
All right, family.
Peace.
Bye. Leave.